What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Thursday. It's a beautiful day. Sun is shining, birds are chirping and stuff. And your Vikings are going to be rolling with quarterback Josh Dobbs against the Raiders. Now, it had been a big kerfuffle and debate over the bye week of who should start against Las Vegas. Should it be Dobbs, the Passionate? Should he be relaunched? Or should they go with the veteran Nick Mullins or the rookie Jaron Hall? And Kevin O'Connell ended all the drama, all the questions by announcing on Wednesday it will be Josh Dobbs 2.0, again, making his fourth start against the Raiders. Now, this set off like a wave of emotion. Now, I feel like the Vikings quarterback is just divisive as it is. I mean, going back to Teddy, going back to Kirk Cousins, all that stuff. And a lot of fans are sort of out on Josh Dobbs. They're like, oh, the Vikings are tanking now. Oh, they're not taking this seriously. Blah, 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 blah. And that is fair. Where I feel like Josh Dobbs, he's had some low lows for sure. Where the Vikings have certainly had some offensive issues over the last two games, and they wasted great defensive efforts by Flores and company. And how do you give up 12 points at home and lose? So stupid, man. It's ridiculous. But the whole thing about Josh Dobbs is that we've seen that he has some high highs. Now, yes, he's been a career journeyman for a reason over the past 6-7 seasons, and I fully understand his limitations. But against the Falcons, where he came in for a concussed Jaron Hall, I mean, you saw the heights. It was amazing. You're sipping on some Gatorade. What do they honestly put in that Gatorade? Because Kirk Cousins loves that stuff too, and he led a comeback against the Falcons. And I mean, Josh Dobbs, that game, certainly launches him into Vikings lore, and he was NFC Offensive Player of the Week, which is noteworthy, and just sort of went from there. But again, I do understand the drawback, because Josh Dobbs, frankly, has been a problem over the last two games, where he had 4 interceptions. Yes, a couple were deflected, but he threw about 6 or 7 that should have ended up in the midst of the Bears, including Jalen Johnson. Basically just straight up dropped a pick 6, and he wasn't great against the Broncos either. Now, the problem is that Josh Dobbs has basically been playing in the Kirk Cousins offense. Now, there's been some little tweaks here or there, but Kevin O'Connell hasn't really adjusted much, and frankly, that game plan against the Bears has been the absolute atrocious. It was the worst possible game plan, because it basically tried to turn Josh Dobbs into a pocket passer, and that's not who he is. That is not his game. And Phillips and O'Connell have talked ad nauseum this week about catering the game plan to their skill set. So if that is specifically what they're going to do with Dobbs and utilize his running ability, I'm in. And yes, the Vikings, we said this earlier in the week, the Vikings got to gamble. The Vikings have to start getting something going on offense. And JJ coming back is going to be important, and because you still haven't seen Josh Dobbs with Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver in the game. So that could open things up, as well as, the whole thing about it too is, if they would have benched Dobbs and gone with Mullins or Hall, and if Mullins or Hall would have been asked, thank you, and they tried to go back to Dobbs, that's really tough to do, because you've seen, trying to play musical chairs at quarterback, like the Jets, trying to go back to Zach Wilson. He's like, nah. But I do think that it's set up perfectly for what the Vikings want to do, where Kevin O'Connell and Wes Phillips, they had the entire bye week, because I do have a little bit of understanding, because we were championing the biz like, hey, Dobbs is not Kirk Cousins. Why are you rolling out this pocket passing game plan? How come you're not using his legs? Where are the read options? Where are the RPOs? Where are the rollouts? Where's all that stuff? I understand during the season it's kind of hard to do, especially when you only get 3 days of practice. But given the bye week and given some time to think, and I'm sure that Kevin O'Connell made his mind up last week, there's no excuses. Like, we better see basically a brand new offense for the Vikings that utilizes Josh Dobbs' legs and maximizes what he's good at and minimizes what he's bad at. And what he's good at is movement skills, both running, throwing on the run, as well as making plays off script. So allow him to do a little bit of work like that, as opposed to just drop back 5 steps and then make your reads and scan the full field. That's the Kirk Cousins offense. All right. Again, I have a little bit of understanding, because your entire playbook was predicated off of a guy who just sits in the pocket and throws darts. That's not what Josh Dobbs does. But I do think that if they do cater to what Josh Dobbs does well, I think that they could put up some crooked numbers in the scoring column, and that's exactly what they need because the defense is going to be great. JJ is going to help. And I think that the Vikings have to win 3 out of the next 5 games to have a shot at the playoffs, and it's got to start against the Raiders. You cannot lose in Las Vegas, even though a lot of people lose at Vegas. Not me, though, last week. It was pretty damn good. Beside the point. But the whole thing about it is that I do understand why people are upset because Josh Dobbs, the interceptions, the turnovers are just inexcusable. He's got 8 turnovers in 4 games, and you simply cannot win with that. But what Kevin O'Connell is banking on, like, hey, we can minimize his downside, we can maximize what he does well, and maybe we'll have some amazing outcomes again. Because, I mean, if you told me after the Falcons game that a month later Vikings fans would be begging to bench Josh Dobbs, I wouldn't have believed it. I really wouldn't have. So I do think that Josh Dobbs is going to get a fair shake. And also, I think Kevin O'Connell hedged his bet properly in that, hey, if Josh Dobbs still turning the ball over, you can bench him. Like you can go to Mullins, you can go to Hall, you can go to whoever, no muss, no fuss. But I do think that in an offense that's built for him and Justin Jefferson back, I do, and also a chip on his shoulder. I mean, Dobbs had some success. He had some not so success over the last 2 weeks. I think he's going to get back in this thing and look really damn good. But your thoughts are thoughts. Why the Vikings are rolling with Josh Dobbs against the Raiders, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.